tonight on Evening. The Jurassic Park dinos are roaring back to the box office. Look inside the making of Jurassic World Rebirth. Where to find local prehistoric creatures, from the SeaTac sloth to Washington's own T-Rex relative. And an evening rewind to a place where baseball's future greats play under the midnight sun.
Welcome to the show from Johnny's Dock in Tacoma. I'm St. Brian with a Johnny's Resurrection Punch in front of me because we are celebrating the return of this iconic restaurant to the Thea Foss Waterway with some of the menu items you've always come to expect, as well as a few that are actually brand new.
Have you fired the grills on?
When Gary Purawal, the man who resurrected Johnny's Dock, talks about the location of his restaurant in Tacoma, he can get downright poetic.
The subtle waves of the backwaters, the waterfront, the view of the boats, it just softens out to the utmost bliss, and one relaxes here by the moments.
The restaurant, named for its original owner, the man behind the ubiquitous Johnny Seasoning, opened in 1977 with classic Northwest fare. The pandemic forced its closure in 2020.
We walked in, we've seen nothing but opportunities here.
Gary and his team will offer the same Northwest fare people expect, as well as menu items with an Eastern twist.
A chicken with butter masala flavor has traveled all around the world. It goes well with the Indian side of cuisine.
Johnny's Dock is open from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. daily, and we are going to check out some of the menu items a little bit later in the show. But first, it has been 32 years since dinosaurs first ruled the summer box office. But they are back, bigger, louder, and more dangerous than ever in the 7th entry in the Jurassic World franchise. This time it is Scarlett Johansson who stars in Jurassic World Rebirth.
This would be a medical breakthrough that could save countless lives. It comes from the largest dinosaurs on the planet.
Oh my God.
Jurassic World Rebirth seeks to bring back the awe and wonder of the very first Jurassic Park movie, directed by Steven Spielberg in 1993. At the New York City premiere, Rebirth director Gareth Edwards revealed he was just 17 years old when the first movie came out.
It's the summer I went to film school, and it changed my life. I basically bought a computer that summer and eventually learned how to do CGI, and I ended up rendering dinosaurs in my bedroom and silly things like that.
Executive produced by Spielberg with a screenplay by the same man who wrote Jurassic Park, the movie follows covert operations experts Scarlett Johansson and Mahershala Ali as they help paleontologist Jonathan Bailey retrieve life-saving DNA from not one, but 3 large dinosaurs, one each from land, sea, and air.
It's a simple narrative structure, and then big thrills, big shocks, and a lot of love and heart as well.
Principal photography started last summer in Thailand. So hot and muggy, Mahershala said he felt like he was being cooked from the inside out. The actors bonded in their isolation.
It was like summer camp, honestly. Us being out of the States and tucked away in Thailand for a while.
Sometimes you make a film and actors can be really good at pretending they all like each other. They really became a family on this one. We were in the middle of nowhere, in the jungles and in the swamps and things like this, really doing it for real.
The movie may come across as a tribute to Spielberg, who challenged the team to recreate a life rafting sequence that was in the original Michael Crichton novel.
Well, I love the T-Rex. Who knew they could swim? Right? That was a surprise, and they could.
It was in Malta they shot the boat attack scenes, the actors again baking in the hot sun, asking their director endless questions about what the Mosasaurus looked like.
Gareth is such a visionary. He sees everything like in his mind, and it's complicated. I mean, he sees these massive set pieces while also having an understanding of what the continuity is throughout this huge, thrilling adventure.
An adventure aiming to make another $1 billion for the Jurassic World franchise.
Jurassic World Rebirth is rated PG-13, and we've got a big prize package a little bit later in the show. I got to see the movie last night, and I have to say, not one character comes across as anything more than potential protein for dinosaurs. That said, there are 2 exhilarating action sequences that are worth the price of admission. If you are looking, by the way, for a mellower version of paleontology, well, you can find that right here in Washington State.
From the mighty mammoth to the SeaTac sloth, Washington is a great place for finding fossils.
Oh, it's not like any other place.
Paleontologist Elizabeth Nesbitt and naturalist David Williams teamed up to write the ultimate guide to the fossils in this state, spirit whales and sloth tails. The sloth in the title is this 9-foot-tall giant ground sloth discovered at SeaTac in 1961 when they were building a new runway.
The construction people pulled up some bone and said, oh, we should do something with this. So they came to the Burke, and the people here said, that's a sloth. This is very exciting.
Some prehistory to ponder next time you fly out of Seattle.
So you think about all the other things that are underneath the runways there. There's probably all sorts of stuff there.
Also in the book and at the Burke, Washington's first dinosaur, found on Susha Island in the San Juans.
Because it's just a little bit of a femur, but they know roughly that it's in that family that includes things like T-Rex. So it's a carnivore.
It's a big carnivore.
Yeah.
It was a big carnivore.
80 million year old.
Mm-hmm.
And how about this rare intact whale found in a quarry on the Olympic Peninsula?
It is about 30 million years old. The whales are definitely the most exciting thing because they are specifically for Washington State. We don't get whales like this anywhere else, except in Japan and New Zealand.
The Burke is more than a museum. It's a research facility where paleontologists uncover pieces of the planet's past. This scientist is working on a triceratops. Millions of years of Earth's history are filed away in hundreds of cabinets.
Each of the cabinets is full of drawers. Each of the drawers is full of fossils.
Spirit whales and sloth tails doesn't just tell the story of the fossils found in Washington, it shows that there are more to be discovered, likely right beneath our feet.
You can find spirit whales and sloth tails at local bookstores, and of course you can see the Sushasaurus and all of those other fossils at the Burke Museum.
Up next, the local World War II vet whose last act of war was an act of love.
We're all human beings, and we all have human feelings.
And a guide revealing some of the best-kept secrets in our Northwest mountains.
Wow!
Local stories make a difference.
I want to check that out.
With the power to enrich lives, strengthen communities, and make us smile. Evening is made possible by Primera Blue Cross. Primera Blue Cross, always in your corner.
Welcome back to the show from Johnny's Dock in Tacoma. Dinner is served. I've lucked out here. I've got Johnny's specialty hamburger with a sweet potato bun. Now that is a new twist here. We've also got all the fries you'd want to eat. There are some other classic menu items to talk about. The seafood and chips, that's crispy battered halibut, served with golden fries and tartar sauce. And then we have the Indian entrees, the butter chicken masala, the spinach saag, that's cream spinach simmered with house ground spices, and paneer. It's kind of an Indian take on tofu, served here with vegetables. All right, this 4th of July, when the Seattle Mariners host the Pittsburgh Pirates, a World War II veteran is going to be throwing out the ceremonial first pitch. His name is Harvey Dreyhouse. He's over 100 years old, and his last act of war was an act of love.
After all these years, as far as I'm concerned, war is really a form of insanity.
It is Easter Sunday, 1945. And 22-year-old Harvey Dreyhouse is one of 170,000 combat troops landing in Okinawa to fight in one of the bloodiest battles of World War II.
You're in a different world. Your mindset is just where you are that day and to follow orders and to be able to survive. Nothing else enters your mind because there is nothing else. It's hard time now, buddy.
Under heavy machine gun fire, Harvey drops to the ground, nearly landing on a photo album.
And I thought, golly, there's got to be photos in there and they've got to be valuable. So I tucked it in under my chest.
Men all around him are getting hit.
And I got blowed up by an artillery shell, the concussion. And I was knocked unconscious.
Harvey survives the war. His many medals include a Bronze Star for heroism. He raises 4 children on a chiropractor's salary, and it is 74 years before he discovers the 80 photos he saved from the battlefield.
Those are really valuable pictures.
Harvey's health aide, Yuriko Moser, was born in Japan.
So I said, can you read any of this Japanese? She said, no, that's old Japanese.
But Yuriko knows who to ask.
And see that it gets where it belongs to the families.
Japan's NHK network tracks down the Nakamoto family in Okinawa.
Harvey really gives me a lot of credit for this, but I said, you know, I'm more like, I was just a messenger.
Well, when you're in training, what do? They teach you hate and how to kill.
But Harvey Dreyhus's last act of this war is one of love.
We're all human beings, and we all have human feelings. And by God, if these pictures belong to families, they should go back. And that's how it happened, and it worked out really nice.
Such a privilege to meet Harvey. You can see him throw out the ceremonial first pitch of that Mariners game on 4th of July. It's going to happen around 1 o'clock. You know, we in Washington are lucky. We have 2 mountain ranges, the Cascades and the Olympics. And one woman has written the ultimate guide to both of them. Here's Jose.
When the mountains call Bainbridge writer Nancy Blakey, she answered with a book.
The Mountains Are Calling and I Must Go is a beautiful quote by John Muir.
She wrote The Mountains Are Calling, year-round adventures in the Olympics and West Cascades to encourage people of all ages and stages to get outside.
I think this book works. This book is a big invitation.
She took us to the Elwha Valley in Olympic National Park.
We're in the heart of the Olympic Mountains.
For a short hike from her book, with a big reward.
Water really drove this whole book for a lot of the hikes for me. I love the sound of it.
The book is an easy access guidebook to the trails, plants, and wildlife that give our mountains their majesty. And Nancy did one thing while writing it. She wants everyone to try.
A lot of solo hiking, and I really want to encourage people for solo hiking. Again, if you wait for the right time and the right weather and someone to go with you, a lot of times you won't do it, but you never regret it. What I love is coming around this corner, you don't know what you're expecting, and there it is.
Madison Creek Falls is spectacular and at 1/3 of a mile accessible. It's also a reminder that we are lucky to live in a place where it's this simple to answer the mountain's call.
Basically, getting outside is just one of those uppers in life, whether it's your backyard or in the mountains. It's just so beautiful.
All right, thank you, Jose. The Mountains Are Calling is published by Seattle's own Sasquatch Books.
Up next, baseball in the land of the midnight sun. It's an evening rewind. And later, win a prize package from the summer's biggest blockbuster movie. Now in our 39th season, Evening shares local stories that make our community shine. Thanks to support from PEMCO Insurance. PEMCO empowers the Northwest to prevent the preventable. Learn how at PEMCO.com.
Saint here with a PEMCO prevention moment. Distracted driving causes 15% of fatal crashes in Washington State. PEMCO Insurance can help you prevent these preventable tragedies that claim hundreds of lives every year. Let's start with the phone. To reduce distractions, they recommend turning on Do Not Disturb
while driving mode or silence notifications. If you need to make a call, use hands-free calling only, and only if absolutely necessary, and keep those conversations brief. The risk of a fatal crash goes up 44% when a teen has passengers in the car. That's according to the National Safety Council. Encourage your teen driver to drive solo or with just one passenger until they gain more experience. For more preventing the preventable tips, log on to PEMCO.com. Welcome back to the show from Tacoma, where the sun will not set tonight until 9:09 p.m. These long summer days remind me of a story I did in Alaska, where baseball can be played at midnight, outside, without any lights.
If you want to play pro ball, this is the place to come.
And here they have come since the early 60s. McGuire, Johnson, hundreds of the nation's top college players drawn to the biggest state of them all for a taste of the big leagues.
We're playing 50 games in like 7 weeks. Plus they face the top collegiate players in the country.
Players like Tacoma's Tyler Best, who we met coming off an 8-hour bus trip from Fairbanks.
So you get a lot of sleeping time on a moving bus.
These boys are all potential pros.
Players who in many ways are still boys.
Guaranteed touchdown right here.
Yeah.
Mississippi State freshman Jeff Butts and New Mexico sophomore Kevin Knowles are a long way from home.
Oh, are you serious? How does he drop that?
But in Alaska, home
Getting lucky, aren't you?
is as close as the nearest baseball fan.
People out here, I don't know, I can't really explain it, but we love our miners.
Judy Barker is host mom to both players.
It's pretty much your house for 2 months out of the summer.
A house that includes one younger brother,
Everything looks orange.
absolutely free.
I'm just wondering what you're going to do with goggles in Alaska. Take them in the hot tub?
The 2,000 people living in Palmer have embraced baseball since '76, when the Matsu Miners were called the Valley Green Giants.
Back at Herman Brothers Field here in Palmer, Alaska.
Oh, miners!
And we're just getting started, folks.
Well, it's the only game in town.
Mary Combs has been running the ticket booth for, well, as long as anyone can remember.
I'm a baseball fan from the word go, you know, so hi, how are you today?
In a game full of tradition,
Way to go, Miners!
Mary has her own.
That time again.
She's never missed a 7th-inning stretch,
Come on, raise up.
and she's made sure no one in the crowd,
Come on, you're big and strong.
and I mean no one, stays seated for Take Me Out to the Ballgame.
Take me out to the
Even baseball can't compete with the entertainment supplied by the people of Alaska.
Miners!
This summer has been short of rallies in the valley.
They're playing hard. They're doing the best they can do.
The Miners lose more than they win. Win or lose, every Alaska Baseball League player learns the same lesson all the Seavers, McGuires, and Winfields did. In the 49th state, you may be good enough to sign autographs, but you're never too good putting some time on the field, in the laundry room, or sweeping the dugout. For the 50 longest days of the year, they come north to Alaska with hopes, dreams, and ambition. And they learn, in this place so full of magic, sometimes dreams this big have to be shared. This season, the Matsu Miners are just 3.5 games behind the Anchorage Bucks, and they're on a 3-game winning streak.
Up next, win a Jurassic World prize pack. We'll tell you how. Portions of Evening are sponsored by PEMCO Insurance.
Welcome back to the show from Johnny's Dock in Tacoma, where we are celebrating the return of this iconic restaurant with this iconic dessert. Cherry on deck, 2 rich scoops of ice cream drenched in sauce and crowned with whipped cream sprinkles and a cherry on top. As promised, we are giving away a Jurassic World Rebirth prize package. You don't have to try to harpoon a Momosaurus or take a T-Rex on a rafting adventure. To enter to win a duffel bag, t-shirt, cap, towel, and water bottle, all you have to do is find our Jurassic World Rebirth post on Facebook or Instagram and leave a comment. Good luck. And that will do it for us from Johnny's Dock, which is open every day of the week from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Now, this is why I get paid.